Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mitchell with FF Real Talk, and it's been far too long. We're about to get started with the 2016-17 season, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm totally excited, just like I am at this time of year every year. This is going to be an eventful year, a challenging year, because we got a number of new players and a number of different strategies that's going to be going that are different from usual years. And I know we got information overload right now, whether you depend on ESPN rankings, Yahoo rankings, whatever your source is for information, it's abundant out there and you can get it from any place that you want to pull from. So if you're watching this video, obviously you trust a little or a lot of what I say, so I definitely appreciate that. Speaking of which, everything this year is going to be time related. I got a lot going on this year that I didn't have going on the last couple of years. So I'm going to definitely still try to do my weekly waiver ad videos, but it's all going to be based on the interest that's being garnered this season. If I don't have as many views as I'm deeming feasible for my time, we're going to be seeing how things go. This year, I'm going to need all of you dedicated and loyal followers. Though y'all try a lot, I know the fantasy thing of don't want to tell your secrets out there, but I'm going to need y'all to spread the word the best you can this year, because I'm going to do the best I can, my due diligence, to get everything out there, especially if I'm going to be dedicating the product to do it. Let everybody know on Twitter. Let your friends know on even Facebook to follow me on Twitter. Put your comments and your thumbs up here. I just got to make sure it's something that everybody is still interested in. I know a lot of my followers personally. Some of you guys, you reach out in DMs and this, that, or the other. So I know who appreciates it, but it's got to be something that grows. So it's going to be worthy of the time doing it, because I don't get paid for this. So I'm going to need y'all to let me know that y'all are still interested. Also, I have a few spots in a league that I'm going to be doing. It's the same thing as my fan league that I did last year. At this point, a lot of the members that are going to be playing this year want to kind of monetize it. I'm not sure if we're going to have the time to do it, because collecting money at this later stage before the season starts is very hard, and that's going to be something that I will be holding the burden on if people don't pony up the money and collect. So if I don't get enough interest of people who are definitely wanting to play for money and definitely have the money to give now, we're just going to do it for free again. And either way, whether it's going to be free or for money, which would be a $20 entry fee, which is what I kind of discussed with the people that are interested. Whether it's free or for that, I still need about 3 to 4 more players to flesh out this team. So if you have any interest in playing in this team this league, it was very fun last year, very competitive. I give props to everyone who played. It was a great season. I came in second place, by the way. But anybody who's interested, hit me up down below with a comment or message me on Twitter, send me a tweet at FF Real Talk. So again, if you're interested in the league, and I flesh this thing out before we get started, good, we'll just move forward. But without further ado, I'm going to do a series of videos today. It's going to be 4 of them. It's going to be my top rankings for the quarterback position, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Now, most of these are, in the quarterbacks, it's going to be top 20. Tight ends is going to be maybe top 15. Running backs and wide receivers are going to be top 50. I'm not going to cover that many in these videos. In each of the videos, I'm going to touch on 5 guys for one reason or another. It might be because of how high I think they're going to be, or something about them that's a sleeper, or something about them that I deem special. So I'm going to be touching on a number of things that I want y'all to remember. But the full rankings will be posted in the comment section, not the comments, but in the description as I post these videos on YouTube. So you're going to get 4 videos of this today. So we're going to just go ahead and get started with the quarterbacks. And I'm going to speak on my number 1 quarterback, which is generally the consensus number 1 in the fantasy community, and that's Cam Newton. With his #1 target back, Kelvin Benjamin, I see his numbers hovering around the same as it was last year. Now, a lot of people are thinking he's going to be much better and is going to be an ascending thing from what he did last year and be even bigger. Don't expect too much more of what he did, more than what he did, rather. But also, you don't need to expect a regression either. I think this is going to be a situation where he very much levels out what he did last year, and it's going to be a lot to expect now. He's also my 20th ranked player overall. So that says that he's worthy of a late round second pick. But I'm not going to gamble too high on quarterbacks at all this year. Quarterback is too deep and too plentiful out there to take a second round pick on one. But if you want consistent talent with somebody that you can depend on, which I expect to do a lot of what he did in an MVP season, take Cam Newton, and you won't lose if you take him like the last pick of the second round if you're in a 10-player league. But you might want to tread lightly because there's a lot of quarterbacks out there. But it's hard to argue with grabbing them. The second quarterback I'm going to talk about is Andrew Luck. Anybody who had the misfortune of owning Andrew Luck last year knows that he was the Eddie Lacy of quarterbacks last year. Though unlike Lacy, Luck got injured. But the reason I'm comparing him to Lacy is because the games he played, he was incomprehensibly bad. I don't know what happened. No one really knows. But there is no way on earth that he's going to be that bad this season. This is a top-tier talent we're talking about. He has too much heart, and I don't see anything about him even repeating remotely that. And he has sleeper potential because no one's going to trust him. Well, the people that don't have the foresight when it comes to a subsequent year, recency bias is a big thing in the fantasy community, and people think about what happened last year and what happened recently, and that's what makes their selections in a general time period. So it's a lot of people that are going to slip on him. The talent around him is rounded into shape with Dante Moncrief coming on as a great second option behind T.Y. Hilton, and with the loss of Coby Fleener, Dwayne Allen becomes a great sleeper to me. He's shown signs when he was out there anyway, and Luck loves to throw to him. So Dwayne Allen is one of those sleepers in tight end that I'll let you know about ahead of time. But again, I think this is going to be a resurgent season for Luck. He's going to assert the reasons that he was drafted that high several years ago with RG3, and he's going to make up for it. He could very well end the #1 quarterback of the year. So stay tuned with it. But if he slips somewhere late because of what happened last year, don't be afraid to pounce. The third one I'm going to talk about is Tom Brady. Every year in every league, there are a number of players that you play with that are scared drafters that don't have big picture foresight. I kind of just mentioned that with Andrew Luck. They see things like suspensions, like with the Le'Veon Bell thing and stuff like that, and they want to steer clear of guys. And Tom Brady is an example of that. He's going to be missing the first 4 games. Everyone knows it. It's no secret. It's one of the most talked about stories there is. But this is a player you really want to take advantage of because you can survive the first 4 games without him, without even having to use Garoppolo. When Tom Brady comes back week 5, you thought last year was crazy with the big chip he had on his shoulder. It's going to be a boulder this year. Anyone who lets him fall late and doesn't pounce on him in the early middle rounds, you are going to make a huge mistake because these are going to turn out top numbers at the quarterback position, equivalent to Aaron Rodgers and even Cam with that chip on his shoulder. He still got Gronk into play. Now, the loss of Deion Lewis that just came out today, we're not sure if he's going to be playing because he's going to need a second surgery. But we're talking about arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. And though he has adequate talent around him, sometimes with the exception of Gronk, of course, you are gonna feast whenever he gets back into this thing, and in week 5. You will be able to have somebody on the waiver, not top talent, but there will be someone on the waiver that will spell you for the first 4 weeks. Don't be afraid to take Tom Brady. If he falls into your lap and you pass, you'll be making a huge mistake. Consider it. Tony Romo is going to be the next one I talk about. He has the potential to be the quarterback steal of the draft. Everyone's scared of him because of his injury-prone status, and that's for good reason. But though he's known for missing chunks of the season, when he plays, he's top-notch usually. Now, it's just all about whether he plays. I just got this inkling he's going to be relatively healthy this year. They've already talked about he's got some back stiffness, but he's looking good. And when you got Dez, you got a chance. The team has still got that offensive line, so Romo is at the very least late, I'd say first 10 quarterbacks on the board. Just have a solid backup if you pick him up. But I think he could very well surprise if you take the chance on him, and you'll be able to get him for a steal. That's the reason why you want to take the chance. So keep Romo in mind. Matt Ryan, much like Tony Romo, Ryan is going forgotten. And a lot of it is because of his season last year. In ESPN, he's a 22nd consensus ranked quarterback, and to me that makes no sense. He is my 13th ranked quarterback. That's crazy to me. Besides last year, he's generally one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the league, and he hasn't had that point in him where he's had the regression, not that I've seen. It's just basically a talent situation what's around him. Besides Julio and besides Devontae Freeman, it's been far and few in between. All they need is a couple of pieces to come out of camp, and round itself into shape, and he'll be good to go. You will be able to get him late as well, and you might be getting a steal. This is why I'm mentioning these guys. These are guys that you can get for steal prices, a lot like Tony Romo. So if he's out there in late rounds and you've waited on quarterback, I would not be afraid to grab Matt Ryan at all. And the last one I'm going to speak on is Jameis Winston. Call it intuition. Call it the interview he had on First Take a week or two ago. I see a gleam in this guy's eye that has me believing in that guy that had all that confidence and all that leadership ability at Florida State. He had a decent season last year as things, but he had a lot of missteps and a lot of things that rookies go through. But his surrounding cast is too good. With Mike Evans and with Doug Martin and with Vincent Jackson still there, everything is too good around him for him to not take that extreme leap. I honestly think he's going to have a better season than Marcus Mariota, and I think Mariota's going to have a good season. With his leadership intangibles, there's no way it doesn't translate into fantasy success at some point. As long as he stays healthy and keeps his head on square, he'll be just fine. And I think, now again, this is just like anybody this late in this list, like Ryan or Romo, you're going to want to get a solid backup. Or this is a guy that will be a solid backup if you've taken, like, say, someone like Phillip Rivers or someone earlier. This will be a guy that'll be a great second quarterback, and you'll be able to get him because he's not going to be jumped on early. He's that type of quarterback. It might even not get drafted at all, but keep a lookout on him because I think he's going to make some waves and he's going to do it early. So, yeah, that's going to be it for what I talk about in terms of the quarterbacks. Again, I'm going to post all my entire rankings in the description area. So again, follow me on Twitter at FFRealTalk. Comment if you have any questions. You can put them down here in the description. You can hit me up on Twitter. That's the best way to contact me. I say it every time because it's in real time. I'll be able to see it, as opposed to sometimes I don't get the questions y'all ask on in here in the videos. I don't get them immediately. So I'm going to be posting the running back video next, so stay tuned. All right, see y'all later.